We've received quite a bit of interest in my Free to Be workshop, so to that effect, beneath this video is a link that will give you a description for the workshop, and we've also included a special discount. So if that's something you would be interested in, I would invite you to click that link, and I hope that you would find the course to be quite beneficial. Okay, I want to talk with you today about one of these issues that can arise in your engagements with narcissism that you think, this shouldn't even be an issue at all, but it is. And that's simply this. If you're a friendly person, if you're a very engaging individual and you genuinely like nurturing relationships, that can be a dangerous thing when you're with a narcissist. Now, many individuals put a high premium on their friendliness, and I applaud that. I want to be that way myself. You want to be the kind of person that shows kindness easily, and you want to have a sense of curiosity about other individuals. And when I say curiosity, it's not data gathering. It's just simply, I want to know you. You like being in the role of the encourager, or you want to be engaging or helpful. You have a big heart. And you want to have an accepting and accommodating kind of a spirit. Actually, there's research that indicates that two of the most prominent ingredients in a healthy personality are your agreeableness and then also your lack of neuroticism. So if you're an agreeable, friendly kind of an individual and you're not a very neurotic kind of person, in other words, you don't carry a lot of tension around on the inside of you, that's a really positive sign for your capacity for relationship skills and growth. You could say with that, well, Carter, what could go wrong there? Well, narcissism. When you're engaging with a narcissist, they're not operating on the same plane as where you are. Now, up front and for a while, narcissists can give the impression that they're friendly as well, and they thoroughly enjoy your friendliness. But over time, you begin realizing that these individuals are carrying an entirely different set of ingredients on the inside of them that causes them not to be able to reciprocate in that friendliness in the way that you would want it to be done. Let's keep in mind that when a narcissist comes in your direction, they are their whole personalities are built on deep and embedded insecurity. They have a lack of self-esteem down at the core. Now, they can give the appearance that they're very confident and they can be very self-assured, but with narcissism, it's all a ruse, because they also have a need to be dominant and in control, and they like being the ultimate authority. And even though they may not show it up front, eventually it does show up. They want someone to dominate. So you take a look at that. They have deep insecurity, and yet they want someone to dominate. That's a formula for disaster right there. And then even stronger, we can say that narcissists are looking for people that they can exploit. And if you're just that friendly, agreeable, non-neurotic kind of person, you don't think like an exploiter. You're not going into any kind of relationship hoping that that's what can happen. But narcissists, they'll want to use you, whether it's for their own public acclaim. Hey, look, I'm attached to this person over here that's really a nice person. That means I'm a nice person too, don't you know? Or maybe they're, if it's a dating kind of a situation, or maybe not even a dating, but they may want to exploit you sexually. In a business situation, they may want to exploit you so that they can make money or get you to do projects that they don't want to do. They are looking for narcissistic supply. They're looking for people that they can use so that they can have their way, they can have their dominance, and they can cover up their hurts and then walk away thinking that they're the better individual. And so narcissists can have a special radar for individuals who come across as really friendly. And I know that it feels kind of jaded to simply say, well, you're just going to have to be careful about what you're dealing with because you will be used. But so often that can be the case. So as you understand this dynamic that's at play, when you're dealing with such a person. There are a couple of different angles that we want to look at. First, you want to get your mind right, so that you're not going to have any kind of assumptions that are going to be off base. And then next, you're going to need to get your behaviors right. To get your mind right, let's recognize that many individuals who are attracted to you are emotionally wounded. When you come across as being a friendly and an engaging kind of an individual, that wounded person is thinking, oh, you could be so much of a balm to my soul. But instead of them thinking, but before I go there, I need to kind of take care of my own personal baggage. They don't think like that. They think you can maybe do something for me to make me feel less hurt. And so they can bring much of their baggage with them toward you. That tends to be the case when you have that friendly kind of disposition. In addition, we can also say that many of the people that you engage with, unbeknownst to you, may have a character disorder. Now, there's a difference between having a mood disorder and a character disorder. A mood disorder is if you have had a struggle with depression or anxiety, or if you have some anger issues and things like that, that's your mood that are dysregulated, and you can work on that. A character disorder, though, and this is where narcissism fits, goes much deeper than that. Yes, they can be moody, but the moodiness is born of the fact that their character has not been fully and maturely developed. There's a hurt little boy or a hurt little girl on the inside that they're carrying around on the inside of them, and they haven't really learned healthy relationship skills, and they haven't developed good insights, and they haven't learned how to take some of their beliefs that they've been told and then make it their own through abstract thinking and awareness and things of that nature. In addition, you'll have to, in getting your head right with these people, you just want to recognize some people, narcissists leading the way, can be experts at hiding or disguising their pathology. This is especially true with the covert narcissist, because up front they can just present themselves as so nice, and some of their need for control and exploitiveness only shows up later on down the road. And also another thought that you're going to need to hold on to, and that is just because you operate with goodness intact, and just because you have a commitment to be trustworthy and considerate towards other individuals, doesn't mean that the people in front of you are going to reciprocate that. I've had so many conversations with people who just kind of have this naive thought that says, well, I know that I'm going to treat people right, so I just start with the assumption they'll do the same in reverse. And unfortunately, you can't really have that assumption. You don't want to be naive. And then one other thought about narcissists in particular, friendly people tend to have strong empathy skills. Narcissists can give an indication that they might have empathy. They can say, oh, that's interesting, tell me more. But I've talked in other videos about how there can be a false empathy, or what we call narcissistic mirroring, where they just kind of reflect back what you're saying to them, but they don't really get on the inside and understand you through and through. And so you want to be sure that you see that for what it is and recognize that's just another tool in their toolbox that they can use. So here you are, friendly, engaging, upbeat, you're wanting to make things go well. And it's like, so I have to take all of these other elements into account. I mean, it just seems like such a burden to have to carry emotionally. And my answer is, yeah, I know. It is a burden, and yet this is a broken world, and this is what you're going to engage with. So let's go with the notion that says, if you're that friendly person and you start getting the sense that that other individual is beginning to bring narcissistic responses to you, too demanding or too needy or too bossy, or lots of conditions that they want to put onto you, and then they start having harshness and all of that. There are multiple external adjustments you can make to go along with the internal adjustments that I just mentioned. And first and foremost, remind yourself that sometimes the kindest thing that you can do for a relationship is to practice calm firmness. Have your boundaries and have your stipulations and put consequences into place. Sometimes the best thing you can do for another individual is to let it be known through your words and actions, I don't want to participate in your unhealthiness. And I don't want you to feel like you can take my friendliness as an invitation just to come and take advantage of my good nature. I'm not going to let that happen. And so you want to be a person that's willing to speak into that space. Now, along with that, you also want to confront your interior, realizing that sometimes that friendly person finds assertiveness to be awkward. But go ahead and let the awkwardness be there, knowing that that's going to be sort of a short-term emotional kind of reality for you. You need to look at the long term. You don't want to just go along to get along and be that friendly, chatty kind of person, knowing that I don't feel too good about it. At some point, even though it may feel awkward, stick with your assertiveness anyway. And in addition, you want to remind yourself you don't have to be a rescuer. You don't have to be someone who takes other people in as a project, which friendly people are inclined to maybe do. Let's acknowledge that these individuals in the end have a strong exploitive nature. And so just as it's good for you to be friendly and pleasing and agreeable towards another individual, you also want to be armed with the fact that you're dealing with somebody who has a whole different hidden agenda than yours. And that being the case, let's say that friendliness and goodness and agreeableness, they're all excellent characteristics. But you know what? Self-care is an excellent ingredient for you to have too. And once you start picking up on that narcissistic theme from that other person, that's when you go into the self-care mode. And you're going to need to be the one that applies that, because you can bet your bottom dollar the narcissist isn't going to be caring for you. It's all about them. And I hope this gives you some good insights to ponder and think about, and hopefully apply it to your life. If you've not already done so, I would encourage you to hit that subscribe button. And by the way, you've probably seen that join button. We have on our Surviving Narcissism, we have a private membership called Team Healthy, where we have extras that we give, whether it's interviews or other videos that we have just for our team members. We also have live Q&A times. I do one every Wednesday with our Team Healthy, and Laura has her times where she has her Q&A times. And then in addition, we have other kind of perks that go along with that. So you might want to check that join button. It's very inexpensive. In addition, we have courses like my Free to Be course. And we also have other new courses that are coming along, and we're trying to get a lot of stuff out there that's going to be helpful, as well as our ongoing webinars that we produce, etc. And then we have my books, The Anger Trap, and Especially When Pleasing You is Killing Me. You might want to look into that. I want you to be friendly. And I like to be around friendly people, but I also want you to practice that self-care and make certain that as you have those healthy ingredients, they're being maintained inside the context of balance. And so stick with that balance that says, I'm going to practice self-care even as I'm friendly. And I don't want any kind of exploiter to try to take advantage of me. That's not something that I'm into. I'm not going to allow that to happen.